welcome to Eagle News International Australia Oceania. I am Raylan Rosafir from Brisbane, bringing you stories from Australia, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea. These are the headlines. Papua New Guinea enforces 14-day quarantine to all incoming international passengers. Students in New South Wales go through school holidays in a COVID-19 setting. Brisbane's Victoria Bridge permanently closed to private vehicles. Church of Christ members in Australia organise INCGiving clothing drive. Rural Orange in New South Wales offers scenic experience for locals and tourists. Adelaide hosts exhibition match featuring world's top tennis players. And Overseas Filipino workers in Papua New Guinea all set for People's Cup 2021. To kick off, we look towards Papua New Guinea and the COVID-19 situation in that country. With air travel now permitted, Papua New Guinea is looking towards a renewed way of life after the initial impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, it comes with its fair share of protocols to ensure the safety of the residents. Eagle News correspondent Angeline Rabuya has more on this story. Angeline?
The Papua New Guinea's national airline, Air Niugini, is now operating in flying in and out passengers to different destinations. Air travel is now permitted provided that proper health protocols are observed. Wearing of mask or face shield and maintaining a safe and appropriate physical distance must always be conducted. In Papua New Guinea, domestic and international travel is now permitted. However, provincial authorities imposed a policy that all passengers must completely fill up a National Development Health Form and are required to complete a COVID-19 test on arrival. No one is allowed to enter Papua New Guinea unless you have an exemption from PNG authorities and have returned a negative COVID-19 test within 7 days prior to your arrival.
As far as the number of passengers traveling is concerned, we almost had 0 passengers during the height of the pandemic last year. However, since the beginning of this year, people have started traveling again, and numbers are gradually increasing towards the pre-COVID-19 figures. As we all know, during the initial stages of the coronavirus pandemic in late 2019, early 2020, there have been numerous lockdowns, both internationally and domestically, and a lot of our flights almost ground to a halt. However, as we progressed throughout 2020, towards the end of October, November last year, I have noticed a steady increase in the number of passengers traveling, and that is partly due to the COVID-19 protocols that are in place, some of which include the mandatory wearing of face masks and the enforcement of social distancing within the check-in areas and the boarding lodges at the terminal.
All travelers entering Papua New Guinea must be quarantined for 14 days in designated hotels or isolation rooms upon entry at the individual's own expense. Some of our kababayans who went back in Port Moresby after a vacation in the Philippines have their own fair share of stories to say about their quarantine experiences. Though traveling nowadays are full of delays and inconvenience because of complicated rules and restrictions, airline companies are still of service to their passenger, whatever declaration of reasons they have. Reporting from Papua New Guinea, this is Angeline Mauricio Ribuya, Eagle News, We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Angeline. We wish success and safety as travel safety protocols are implemented at this time. Now in Australia. After the long and seemingly endless summer holidays, students in Sydney, New South Wales are pouring back into schools. However, the recent holidays have been quite unlike any other, as students had to navigate their way around COVID-19 restrictions. Our correspondent in Sydney, Charm Elia, is here to share more details. Charm?
The 6-week summer break Aussie kids wait for at the end of the year commenced from December 19 to January 27. Those 6 weeks means freedom. No school, no homework, no assignments, no exams. It's a stress-free time, which means more fun and adventures, whether it is spending it at the beach, hanging out with some friends, or sleeping in. Something we all wish we would be doing right now. So, how are kids spending their end-of-year holidays amidst COVID-19 restrictions? With the sun up and the weather getting warmer, it's the perfect time for outdoor activities such as going to the zoo, having a picnic, sightseeing, bike riding, hiking, and of course, the classic Aussie summer holiday at the beach. However, with the ongoing cases of coronavirus in Australia, many families wonder how they're going to keep their children occupied and, more importantly, safe. With restrictions still in place, further plans for the holidays must be adjusted, leaving families with a sense of loss of not being able to go on a vacation, take day trips to beaches or national parks, go to church, or enjoy special times with extended family and friends. As advised by political and health leaders, families should stay at home and create indoor activities to avoid unnecessary social contact. So, what can you do? With the pandemic conditions shaping the new normal, it positively impacts families to create stronger connections despite the limited activities. There are numerous ways to keep the family entertained and productive. An example would be recreating outdoor activities indoors, such as picnics and camps, playing games, watching movies, singing, exercising, gardening, baking, and trying out many new things and finding new hobbies. Psychologist Professor Sonia March advises families to create a list of activities and experiences as a way for families to reduce stress and boredom. According to her, it's important for kids and parents to have some time on their own to refresh and recharge.
My favorite part was when we went to the jetty. It's like a big like a big beach with big waves, and when only if my dad swims, I can go with him into the deep. Yes, I did have a good holiday, and my favorite part of my holiday was swimming at the beach in the jetty.
Although the pandemic is far from over, the summer holiday will unfortunately have to remain on pause. Despite these circumstances, we're still hoping that the youth still had a safe, fun, and eventful holiday as they return from their challenging living in these times of hardship teaches us to adapt to change and most importantly realize that all this is temporary and will lead to greater outcomes. Let us all stay positive and do our best to adapt to this new norm as we patiently wait for that long-awaited break we deserve. Reporting from Sydney, Australia, Charm Alea, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Charm. We're glad to hear that COVID-19 isn't stopping the youth from enjoying their school holidays. Moving now to Queensland. One of Brisbane's oldest and most iconic bridges, the Victoria Bridge, will soon be permanently closed to private vehicles, as part of the strategic decision made by the Brisbane City Council to improve their living conditions. But what exactly does this mean for commuters? Eagle News correspondent Miyako Ong will share more. Miyako?
Victoria Bridge, one of Brisbane's oldest bridge and a link between South Brisbane and Brisbane CBD, will be permanently closed to private vehicles due to the Brisbane Metro project and the CityLink Cycleway Trail. This project is part of the Brisbane City Council's strategic directions to reduce congestions in the city and aims to provide improvement of public and active transport connections. The Victoria Bridge was closed on January 24, 2021. The Brisbane City Council has decided to convert Victoria Bridge to a green bridge where people can get around the city on foot, by scooter or bike or riding connecting public transport. This change will affect transports, taxis, and rideshare vehicles. However, buses will still be in operation at Victoria Bridge. The Green Bridge project from the Brisbane City Council was proposed in 2016 with a budget of $5 million. This project is designed for more accessible and safe movement for the people. Brisbane City Council's Transport Plan for Brisbane Strategic Directions is designed to develop sustainable transport network that doesn't depend on cars within the inner city. It focuses on providing better cross-city road links to reduce the need for trips in the CBD and inner city area. The closure of Victoria Bridge will increase the capacity of public and active transport within the city centre. There are no alternative routes to the city. However, there are alternate traffic bridges that connect to the inner city and suburbs such as Go-Between Bridge, William Jolly Bridge, Captain Cook Bridge, and Story Bridge. There are also various green bridges such as Victoria Bridge, which connects to specific places, and Neville Bonner Pedestrian Bridge, which is under construction that will connect west to South Bank and east to Queen's Wharf, Brisbane. This project is believed to reduce congestions in the Brisbane CBD and inner city areas. According to authorities, the Brisbane Metro project and the CityLink Cycleway Trail will provide improvement for better performance and improved capacity of the rail and bus network, and there will be more public transport for locals to use. Reporting from Logan, Australia, this is Miyako Ong, Eagle News, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Miyako. We wish success in Brisbane's endeavors to make the city even more beautiful. After the break, we will learn about the efforts of the members of the Church of Christ in Australia as they organize the INCGiving clothing drive. Also, we will head on to rural Orange in New South Wales to explore the scenic landscape it offers. Plus, Adelaide hosts tennis exhibition match featuring some of the world's top tennis players. And overseas Filipino workers in Papua New Guinea all geared up for their upcoming sports event, People's Cup 2021. All these stories when Eagle News International Australia Oceania returns. Stay tuned.
It says the best defense is still containment.
We are in uncharted territory.
By the volume 450, if I want to 100%. Traffic ban. Construction
Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News International Australia Oceania. Heading now to Canberra, the Church of Christ and its members are giving back to the community with a pre-loved clothing drive as part of its INCGiving program. Eagle News correspondent Ronzel John Castro is here to share more details about this inspiring event in Eastern Australia. Ronzel?
Despite the hardship faced last year, members of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo in the Eastern Australia region have launched an INCGiving campaign with the aims of helping those who are in need.
Led by the District Minister, Brother Felix D. Santos,
The Church of Christ members all over from the district joined together to hand over their donations to selected non-profit charity organizations in their communities, with the purpose and aspirations to help their fellow man in these troubling times.
We are doing this activity because we obey the command of our Lord God, written in Proverbs 3:27, whenever you possibly can, do good to those who need it.
Today we had our INCGiving activity. The goal of this activity is to follow God's commandment written in the Bible. Especially now that there is a pandemic, we want to show a gesture of help to the people, especially those who are in trying times right now. And in doing good works like this one, we are able to fulfill as well our obligation to shine as lights to this world. And also as part of intensifying the work of propagation by doing good works, it will be effective if people would see us doing such good works.
Let's hear some insights of their experience from the participants themselves.
Now that the world is still suffering from the pandemic, I think now more than ever, we should share the blessings that we receive and the blessings that we have to the less fortunate people.
One of the teachings that we have in the Church of Christ is helping our fellow men in need. So it's good that we have these kinds of activities where we not only show our activeness in the church, but also activeness in fulfilling our duties, not only to the church, but also to our fellow men by giving help to them and to our communities.
So the purpose of this activity is in line with our commemoration and celebration as well of the Church of Christ here in Australia. So we're celebrating the 45th anniversary. So in line with this celebration, every month we are doing these INCGiving activities to give back to the community and to also tell the community that we're celebrating this milestone of the Church of Christ here in Australia. Yes.
The Church of Christ members here are all the more inspired to carry acts of service to the communities as we welcome a brand new year. Truly, there is indeed renewed hope and strength in giving. Reporting from Canberra, Australia, this is Ronzo Janti Castro, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thanks for that, Ronzo. We are pleased to hear about the relentless efforts of the Church of Christ in helping the community. Moving back to New South Wales. Only a 3.5-hour drive away from main Sydney is the well-renowned Orange area and its surrounding villages and towns, iconic for its food and wine, landscape, and history. Orange is certainly a must-see for tourists and visitors. Sydney correspondent Shane Reyes will walk us through this beautiful space. Shane?
In the state of New South Wales, the busy and vibrant city of Sydney is a well-known tourist hotspot. It's loved for its sun-soaked beaches, rising skyscrapers, and endless entertainment. But in light of the current pandemic and necessary travel restrictions, vacationists who seek a more reclusive retreat can experience a peaceful getaway at the rural town of Orange, New South Wales, approximately 3 hours away from the Sydney CBD. The quiet town of Orange is known for its boutique shops, fresh produce, and historic land, and contains various stores such as the Orange Arcade, which has a multitude of both small businesses and commercial chains. An extensive variety of grocers and markets proudly sells their fresh produce, and small cafes such as the Village Bakehouse offers freshly baked goods. For visitors eager to learn the town's history, the Orange Regional Museum provides great insight into its unique past. The display of local Indigenous paintings and sculptures represent the rich culture and geography of the land. One of the most alluring aspects of the town is the serene natural views waiting to be taken in. The Orange Botanical Gardens display an abundance of both native and exotic plants, while serving as an ideal location for picnics and birdwatching. Many tourists also seek to be more connected to nature, leading most sightseers to the popular Federal Falls campground. The 4-kilometer scenic trail to the Federal Falls passes through snow gum forest, which is a vast range of flora and fauna. There's also hidden gems nearby, such as the Falls waterfall at the Mullion Range, where travelers are permitted to swim in the naturally formed pools. For those seeking a peaceful and tranquil experience, this reserve permits both locals and visitors to partake in water sports such as canoeing, sailing, and swimming. The lake is also the perfect location for relaxing strolls, family picnics, and watching the breathtaking sunset. Though travel restrictions are still in place for the nearby future, a visit to the town of Orange is the perfect switch from the hustling streets of the city to a more remote and peaceful destination. Reporting from Sydney, Australia, this is Shane Reyes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Shane. The place is truly a delight, and we would absolutely love to visit Orange next time. Moving now to South Australia. Tennis is one of the most famous sports in the world, has a great following in Australia, with the Australian Open frequented by some of the world's biggest tennis stars every year. Right now in Adelaide, another match is to take place, described as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for players and sports fans alike. Eagle News correspondent Sage Ardornia is here to share with us the full story. Sage?
Many Australians anticipate the summer season, especially the first 2 months of the year, where tennis tournaments are held simultaneously around the country. Tennis exhibitions are also often held as a preparation for players before a big event. Here in South Australia, a one-off tennis event took place, showcasing 8 tennis players who engaged in single matches. At the start of this year, the South Australian government announced that there will be a tennis event called A Day at the Drive to be held on the last week of January at the Memorial Drive Tennis Club, located in the Adelaide CBD. Featuring 8 of the best players in the world, this boosted the excitement of many tennis fans in the state. However, this event was not limited to South Australia, only as interstate fans were also encouraged to look forward to this event. South Australia's Premier Stephen Marshall stated that this tennis exhibition was a once-in-a-lifetime chance for the residents to see world-class tennis matches and to hopefully accelerate the increase of tourism in the state. Due to the pandemic still roaming around, it was ensured that the venue followed safety measures, reducing the original capacity to minimize any risk and to adhere with the government requirements. Popular tennis players such as Rafael Nadal, Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, and Novak Djokovic participated in the event. Because of the limited seats available and the affordable price ranging from $30 to even $100, tickets which were on sale on the 21st of January immediately sold out after the first few minutes of release, as several tennis fans queued for the tickets hours before its official publication. Tickets were also only available to be scanned through mobile QR codes to minimize long lines due to the pandemic. To maximize the opportunity for tennis fans to see their favorite players, 2 sessions were made, with the first session at 1 p.m. and the second session at 7 p.m. The players were divided into 2 sessions, each with a men's and women's single match. The lineup and the order of play within each session were kept in anticipation until a few days before the event to make sure each session had a fair division of crowds. Both sessions showed a promising outcome as viewers from all ages attended the event. While certain guidelines and restrictions still remained in place, A Day at the Drive showed a promising outcome, with many South Australian residents along with interstate visitors following the rules and requirements placed during the event. The crowds were able to see their favorite tennis players in a match, which is a rare opportunity given that we are at a time where we are hindered to participate in many social events. South Australia also hopes that this will help surge the tourism and economy of the state. Reporting from Adelaide, South Australia, this is Sage Ardornia. Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Sage. We can feel the same excitement and anticipation for this incredible match. Now back in Papua New Guinea, another sports competition is much anticipated by the Overseas Filipino workers as the Filipino Association of Papua New Guinea organizes the People's Cup 2021. Here's Echo Hortaleza Quinola again to fill us with this exciting story. Echo?
The Filipino Association Clubhouse of Papua New Guinea, FAPNAG, will once again deliver an exciting and fabulous sports tournament for the OFWs. Teams and players will be back to the Filipino clubhouse for training and practice to prepare for the People's Cup 2021. Ikaw ang bida, hataw na! The FAPNG authorities have announced to the Filipino community about the game tournaments that will commence on March 2021. Registration is now open for those who are interested in joining and be part of the sporting activities. Tournament guidelines for each division have been posted to be abided and respected by the players.
Tennis. We call it People's Cup because we give the right to call it for the people kasi yung palaro natin para naman talaga sa mga people dito sa Pilipino dito sa Papua New Guinea.
So each team will be having a registration fee, or we call it the entry fee to the tournament. The deadline will be on the 26th of February. Yes. So each team will have to make 15 members to compose a team for basketball, because we are expecting minimum of 30 teams all throughout. That's for basketball only. And wala pang plano regarding volleyball, but eventually there will be one. But for basketball, we will open up on March 21, as I said.
Yes, on March 21st will be our grand opening na People's Cup 2021.
Hataw na bida ka. Okay.
Hataw na bida ka. Ikaw ang bida. So, we are inviting everybody to join the game, the tournament. And this composed of divisions, 4 divisions. Dust blower for the elite. This is the elite teams. Amateur go-getters. Ito yung mga competitive teams. Old Star Power 40. Ito yung mga 40, above 40 years old above. And yung pinakabago, yung intermediate full rotted. As Arn said, it's not only basketball. We will announce about the volleyball and the badminton games as well. So we are inviting everybody to join, to participate, and enjoy. And we would like to take the opportunity to our chairman of sports na si Jonathan Plasabas. And yung nakaisip talaga ng concept na to na si Commissioner Evan Torrebiano.
Yes.
So again, we're inviting everybody on March 21st, People's Cup 2021, brought to you by Papnang Sports.
The main concern of the Filipino overseas workers in Papua New Guinea is not just to fight boredom and homesickness. They are also devoting their time and strength in this sports event to promote awareness, tolerance, friendship, unity, and most of all, fair play no matter what professionalism levels they have. The Filipino Association in Papua New Guinea will maintain its support for every Filipino to benefit from any activities they plan to conduct, be it musical, sports, medical business, and community services. Reporting from Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, Echo Hortaleza Quinola, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Echo. More power to the Filipino Association there in Papua New Guinea as they continue to ensure the welfare of our OFWs. And that concludes today's program. Thank you for watching Eagle News International, Australia, Oceania. Join us next week as we share more stories from our bureaus across Australia, New Zealand, and Papua New Guinea. Visit our websites at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on twitter.com/eaglenews and on facebook.com/eaglenews. Stay safe, stay strong, and take care, everyone. From Brisbane, Australia, I am Raylan Rose Javier. Eagle News, we live in interesting times.